Hi, welcome to the Champagne Wives podcast. I'm your host, Kelly.
And I am your co-host, Nicole.
Oh, hi.
Hiya.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Kelly. Kelly feels a certain way about me today. And I smell it, I taste it, I sense it.
It's okay,
But
though.
it's okay.
We push through.
That was what I was just going to say.
We push through.
We do.
Don't let it stop us. We do
Rule
what
number
we have
one.
to do. Yeah, we can't stop, won't stop. Like, at the end of the day, we push through it.
Agreed. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to hop into how was your weekend?
First of all, weekend was amazing. So as you all know, Summer Jam HTX was June 11th, which was this past Saturday.
Yes.
And it was a total vibe.
Liddy.
So lit. I had people come in from Louisiana, all of my cousins, my mom, my sister, just a whole bunch of folks that I just love hanging with and love being around, who were there to support my husband and I, or 125 Entertainment, the producers of Summer Jam. And I don't know, like, and again, I'm gonna let you talk about it because I'm not gonna say you're an outsider, but it wasn't like your husband's festival. Like you were a guest. Right. You are a guest of ours, but it was amazing. It was perfectly executed. The artists were amazing. Mm-hmm. The experiences were top notch. It was super safe and really comfortable. Yeah. It just felt like a Coachella in Houston.
It really did. That's a perfect way to describe it. And you said, let me start off, you said I was a guest. And I just want to say thank you so much because that guest experience was top tier, top notch. And
you're welcome.
I just thank you for including us in that.
Of course. First of all, we had business.
We did. We had business to tend to.
We had business to tend to. Don't get it twisted. You were a guest, but we also had to work.
I punched in the clock.
Yeah. So and you guys will see, later on this season what we were able to pull out of Summer Jam. But it was just such an overall amazing experience to be able to accomplish the things that we accomplished working at CWP Champagne Wives podcast at Summer Jam.
Yeah. And you probably got a little bit of a sneak peek if you follow us on the gram. You probably got a little bit of a sneak peek through our stories and even some of the reels that we've put up. But what an amazing production. And I have on my cue card here, Summer Jam Reflections.
Oh, I like that.
A couple of bullets.
Okay.
Houston is an effing vibe.
Oh, it definitely is.
Houston's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. And I think it was captured so well in Summer Jam. Tim mentioned it a couple episodes ago in the way in which the structures, the astronauts just really just gave, what do you say? You pay homage, or like it was a great ode to Houston.
Yeah, ode to Houston, yeah.
Right, in terms of like its culture and impact
what
and influence on the space, city concept. Another thought, music is life.
Yeah.
Music is life. And it was amazing that so many people were able to come together. What felt like in the woods didn't even feel like you were in the
trees in the background.
I know.
And all of the still shots were amazing.
Everything. With amazing. The sunset and everything. Oh
my God, the sunset
and
was
that's what gave
beautiful.
It that Coachella vibe.
Yeah, it did. You're right.
That's what gave it that Coachella vibe. And that everyone came together for the love of music safely. There was no drama.
There were
no incidents.
Yeah.
Everybody just had fun.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important because a lot of us have been in situations where we've come together for music events and that hasn't been the case. And so, when your husband, Mike, was here, you talked about how safety was the priority. It was very abundantly clear that, in the feeling that it was safe.
Yeah. And I feel like the cops had a good time too.
Yeah.
I think they were vibing.
They did.
They were definitely
they were out
vibing.
There.
We see you.
We did. HVD was
right.
And then I just thought there was a lot of body positivity on display.
That part. And so I agree with you 1,000%. And so when you think about like festivals like Coachella and some of the other festivals, a lot of the times it's about fashion. And a lot of times it's about like skimpy fashions, right? Particularly here in Houston, where I think the temperature on Saturday was 101 degrees.
That was like actual documented temperature. And then there was the feels like temperature.
Okay. Exactly. So it felt like maybe 104.
Yeah.
So we did see a lot of
flesh.
A lot of flesh. Yeah.
A lot of flesh.
Fashion is flesh.
And I will say the fashions were giving. I think I underestimated the whole fashion concept for this?
Sis, how? When you knew that I had been shopping since January for the perfect look, like how could you underestimate?
I underestimated
the expectation. Now next year, I know better, but for the first year, I was just like, okay, I had a whole vibe that I was going for.
You knocked it out of the park.
I did. Thank you.
You did. The fits was fitting.
It was. Thank you.
But I think I just underestimated. Like I've been to music festivals, I've been to concerts, right? But I don't know. This is like a fatal flaw. Like sometimes I just don't know what to expect until I'm actually in the freaking situation, and it's like so. Thanks to the good sis for helping me pull off my 23rd hour outfit.
It was definitely a 23rd hour.
But yeah, a lot of body positivity.
Yeah.
And I think it probably is a good place to segue to, the thought around when does body positivity go too far, right? And when does that really kind of transition into attention seeking?
Oh, good points. And I think that now with it being, and I mentioned this earlier in the season, courage season, I mean, even you and I, we're just more free with how we express ourselves.
That is true.
The different things that we wear. But I think at a certain point, self-love turns into self-degradation, depending on kind of how a person, I don't know, either wears an outfit or the outfit that they're wearing.
Or the outfit wears them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, wears the outfit or the outfit that they're wearing that is wearing them, child. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And so I'll say from a personal experience, I feel
we didn't pop the bottle, but I know we're kind of like
word.
at a
no. There are rules to this.
I know, right? The conversation about Summer Jam was just so good. I've been waiting to get on this podcast to talk about
to do a post-mortem of it.
Yes, because I felt like we've done a lead up to it. And if you look at our page, you'll see like all of the stories. You'll see, the pictures and the reels. From the actual festival. We obviously had Tim and Mike on leading up to the event. So, we were able to talk about what to expect. So I just feel like this is, I don't know, the episode that kind of buttons up that conversation.
I feel like you're right.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
And I think the performances were amazing, but I think that some left us with
some things to be desired.
Some things to be desired.
Yeah.
The bad taste in our mouth. And maybe Good Journey has a couple of those topics and what's popping.
I'm
sure she has thoughts on what's popping. So I don't want to steal her thunder. Right. But there was one artist in particular that I was just very disappointed with, who also expressed on the stage that she was disappointed with the crowd. So
tell us how you really feel.
Right? Exactly.
I know we'll talk about that. But I will also say that there were some amazing up and coming artists who had a chance to perform on the main stage as well as the second stage. And listen,
that's true too.
You work at a restaurant and you pour champagne, don't judge me. I know. It's spirit of time. We're doing what we got.
We're rushing. Beat King was good too. Oh my God.
Beat King was good.
So first of all, Good Journey didn't know who Beat King was. And I'm like, you don't know? And I'm like, tell me what you know about me. She was like, no, still don't know.
King. Yeah. I'm a freaky beast.
I sent her a link to one of his songs. What up, Key? Yeah, that one. And she was just like,
that's him. He has a lot of those songs where you're like, oh. But you know what?
Club bangers.
But I wonder if you're outside of Houston, like how much radio play does he really get?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we had Moneybag Yo for that. And Moneybag Yo was a whole vibe too. He was so good.
You know what? I was on this podcast and I said I wanted him to do Scorpio, and the way he got into the crowd and he rapped to the ladies, he was making eye contact. I was like, oh,
he was touching hands, giving high fives, like dapping people off, like he was totally engaged.
He was the people's champ.
He was for sure. Cheers, babe.
The people's champ. And Saucy was giving body. I mean, giving breasts, giving booty, giving waist.
Giving BBL magic.
He was giving body. Okay, so going back to body positivity. So I completely appreciate and understand women finding their confidence.
Yeah.
and wanting to show that. And sometimes, as we said, like you can over-index on that and it can be a bit much. But there's a part of me that also, especially when I see women who society would say, hey, no, you shouldn't be wearing that. There's a lot of times where I'm just like, I appreciate the confidence.
I mean, to a certain extent.
How so? How so, Sway?
I agree. Like, do you, boo? Like, I am not here to say like a person should wear what a person should or should not wear. Mm-hmm. But I think that, I don't know, like in some respects, you have to be self-aware of like, I'm not gonna say like how other people perceive you, but like, I don't know, like how other people perceive you. You know what I mean? Like if it's too much for a person, another person or someone else, to me, that's like the, I guess, barometer, right? Of how you gauge, right? What's appropriate and what's not appropriate. Yeah. You know, like it may be fine to you, but I just think that out of respect and I guess decency for other people, then maybe one should think about how they present themselves. Yeah. And maybe the happy medium, right? I think is loving the skin that you're in, right? But making sure that you're not showing too much of that skin and that you're dressing for your body type, right? Yeah. But I do, going back to the loving the skin that you're in, and sometimes people have a little too much love for that, personally can relate to that because I don't think I actually started loving the skin that I was in until maybe I was like 16, 17 years old. And to have so much of your formative life not really feeling comfortable in the skin that you're in, and I chalk 90% of that up to my upbringing and growing up in the Northeast and in predominantly white communities. Yeah. But to not have that, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. So when people do show it and are just like, I don't care, like this is how I want to look, this is how I want to dress. I mean, there's the little girl in me is probably like, yeah. I kind of wish I had that earlier on in life, right? Yeah. Same here. And I mean, I grew up very reserved. I talk about it all the time. Yeah. Still really reserved. And I feel like, again, encouraged this new season of my life, I'm a little bit more bold. We love to see it. Than I used to be. And that's great. But I still feel like there's a certain level of class and decorum. Yeah. That, you know, we must have, even men, you know, because now what is the hoochie daddies? Hoochie daddy season is hoochie daddy season with those little shorts that they're wearing and stuff like that. 5-inch seam, I think. Yeah, exactly. 5 inches. 5 inches above the knee. Oh my gosh. Exactly. So I still feel like there's a certain way that at least for me, that I want to show up in the world. Yeah. And how I want to express myself through my fashion or what I wear. And so I'm going to always draw that fine line for me, but I can't say that I have been more courageous in my outfits of choice as of lately. And speaking of like childhood and being children, you know, now the conversation is around whether or not you should let your young child dress in a more mature way. Right. And I'll just go and throw it out there. Like my answer to that is, yeah, you should stop them. I think you should, to a certain degree, control how your child leaves the house and what he or she is wearing. Right. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. Not to say that like perverted old men should be looking at like these young girls in a sexual way. But it happens. But it happens. Just do a sexual predator search. Exactly. Well, that part as well. But I just still feel like, you know, as a parent, as a mom, like I am still going to monitor what my child leaves the house in. Of course. And what I could leave the house in and what you could leave the house in when you were young is very different than what the fashions are different. Well, the fashions are different, but the body types are different too. Let's be clear. Like I did not have what my daughter is working with at that age. And so like she has started sports at a much younger age. She's playing select soccer. So her hamstrings and her quads and, you know, she's strong. Yeah. And so she wears clothes a lot differently than I could wear clothes, or I did wear clothes at that age. And so, and then let's not talk about what's in the milk, right? So, you know, I do think we need to be very cognizant of that. And even to the point where I thought this year for camp that my daughter was going to have clothes to wear. Cause I was like, oh, she could just wear the clothes that she wore last year. She hasn't really grown that much. The way I had to go and buy 10 12s. Yeah. Because just
she's grown. And what fit then doesn't fit now. And it's just, I'm not setting her up to feel comfortable wearing clothes like that before she is able to make the decision.
Right.
And B, I'm just not trying to have her think that that's appropriate.
That's appropriate. Yeah, I agree. And again, I don't know about in the Northeast, but I know down South, like dressing like a boy was in, like, you know, with Jabos, Polo, Ralph Lauren, like Guess, like all those things that we used to wear back then were just like baggy and like boys' clothes. Yeah. And so that was the style back then. Yeah. Like it really wasn't what we see today. And I think like social media has a lot of influence on that and kind of like where the trends are going towards.
Right.
But yeah, I never saw that growing up.
I didn't either. And I feel very strongly about allowing little girls to stay little girls for as long as possible. And oh my God. Same with our little boys, right? Yeah. But definitely more so, like as a society, we need to protect our little girls. And so if it means that you are my daughter loves to dress like a tomboy. So if that's what she wants to do, then do it for as long as you want. Yeah. And if you want to button your button all the way up here, go ahead. It's fine.
Right. Fine by me.
Yeah, we absolutely have to protect our girls and not advance them or grow them up faster than they want to. I mean, social media will do that. Or they need to. Yeah. Social media will. And I've talked to parents who have 10-year-old girls who have already started their cycle. I'm like, 10? That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't even imagine what that conversation with a 10-year-old even looks like. But that's the reality. That is. Right? And so girls are turning into women a lot sooner, but to the extent that we can still allow them to still feel like little girls and safe, we've got to.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah. So this courage season, it's here. Is it because the weather's warm, or is it just because like this is the stage of life that we're in?
I think it's because it's the stage of life that we're in. Oh, gosh. I think that, I mean, if not now, then when, bitch? Like...
If that's not the question. Me, then who, bitch? Right.
Not then when. We are not getting any younger.
That's true.
Okay. And I just think that, we put a lot of work into appearing the way that we appear, keeping things together with everything that we have going on. Right. And so, I feel this sense of pride and, really proud of where I am in terms of like my body positivity and being able to wear certain things. And so I'm going to wear it. But again,
within reason.
Within reason. Yeah, there's only so far I'm going to go.
I know. Yeah. I'm with you. Okay. Well, I'm here for courage season. Cheers to courage season.
Cheers to courage season. Hey.
And I feel like that's a perfect place for us to talk about some of the things, some of the fashions, some of the performances that we saw at Summer Jam. And the only person who I can think about to put her true twist and flair on it is Good Journey. Come on over.
All right, let's get into what's popping. Cheers, Good Journey.
Hi, friends.
Good Journey.
We're here. Thank you. Listen, I know we were talking about Summer Jam, and I had the best time. And let me tell you something about myself. I hate being outside. And Summer Jam,
with a
was
passion.
Hot. With a passion. It was hot. It was bugs. It was humid, but I had a good time. My favorite part was the Ciroc tent. Not only was it air conditioned, they had a very nice, like, the backdrop was cute.
They did. They had a DJ.
Yeah, the Ciroc tent was everything. And then the Maker's Mark tent was good too. Basically, all the alcohol tents were my favorite.
Pretty much.
For sure.
Okay.
All right. So as far as just like the talent, I was excited to see Saucy Santana. And you guys know, like a couple days before, he had said what he had said about our little sis Blue Ivy. And Houston was
he didn't say it a few days. It had come old tweet that come out.
Had come out about Blue Ivy's hair and how it was nappy or whatever the case may be. And so everybody on the shade room was like, oh, he's about to be in Houston and Houston's gonna boo him and blah 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 blah.
Can we talk about how though Summer Jam was on Shade Room multiple times?
Oh, girl. Multiple times.
We talk about this press.
Listen, there's no such thing as bad press.
No such thing as bad press.
Okay.
And it was on all the blogs. Cheers to the press. We love to.
Good and bad.
Thank you, Shade Room. Appreciate you. But no, I was I was waiting for him to sing his Material Girl song. He sang it. But the whole time, my ear was like waiting for somebody to boo him. Like I was waiting for the crowd to be in an up. but they weren't. The crowd was not in an uproar. And I think it was because the crowd was standing for a very long time. So that's potentially why.
I think a lot of people were high too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Rolling on the river, child. Rolling on the river.
They were passing out blunts or no?
They
were.
At the tent. There was a
blunt
tent.
They were. There was
tent.
edible. There was all kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was all kinds of stuff.
I want to say like a lot of people were just.
Yeah, they were just kind
under
of chilling.
the influence.
But Saucy came and talked his shit. Like
he did.
He
He acted like there was nothing wrong.
Nothing.
He came and he twerked his little twerk with his little belly.
Beyonce's song.
Did.
Was it her instrumental?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He was
so yeah, there was not one boo.
There wasn't.
Yeah.
And the other one that I wanted to talk about was Lotto. Because here's the thing. Lotto So Lotto is a very talented woman. She is. However, but.
Not the way you said woman.
She's a very talented woman, but there was just a lot of things that I didn't like about Lotto's outfit and the way that she presented. We were talking about presentation.
Yeah.
And Lotto did not present well. I didn't like her hair. Her outfit looked bumblebee-ish, even though it was Prada.
It was Prada. It was a Prada fit.
Even though it was Prada, I wasn't feeling it. But I mean, she came with energy, but the crowd wasn't giving her energy. So I think she kind of like flatlined a little bit.
Energy,
really? I didn't see that because first of all, we were running around trying to work. So I really wasn't paying attention to like the energy from the crowd. I did hear her say that she was disappointed with the crowd.
Yes. And I had like a more bird's eye view because you guys were kind of pushed towards the stage and I was back in the VIP area where there were seats. And I was
in climate control.
Correct. And I was looking at the crowd and everybody had a great time. Please do not get me wrong. But I feel like maybe when Lotto and like those kind of folks come on, they're wanting like a more of a type of energy. And I just feel like Houston is a vibe.
You gotta work for that.
But Houston gonna make you work for it.
They're gonna make you work.
They're not just gonna give it to you just because you say who you say you are.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she would have gotten the energy had she done the song BDE.
Yeah.
That's true.
That part too.
Because I was,
you got to do the hits.
Well, I will say the time was limited though, because
then
the HPD
redo the set. If that's the song that's moving units on the radio, then
do that one.
Redo
Start
the
with
set.
that one.
Start with that one. Get the crowd hyped because I promise you, by the time you got to It's Giving Boss, whatever, crowd.
But I'm also saying like Houston is not like Atlanta.
No.
It's completely different vibe.
Yeah.
We like different music.
Correct.
We carry ourselves in a completely different way.
It's true.
So I just think that you have to understand the audience in which you're playing to. To understand like what will get them hyped. So to your point, yes, if she would have come out with BDE, which is one of the, one of her hits.
It is.
And it's something that is known in Houston and has a huge fan base and following here in Houston. I think that would have turned up the heat more at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, so it could have gone through.
It was a slow burn. Like it took a while to like, yeah.
And so, and her attitude was just.
It was what it was.
But she went to camp apparently afterwards. She had a whole outfit change and went to camp. And
did she change her hair too?
She did.
Okay.
She did. She did a blonde bob and she looked stunning.
Curious.
She looked stunning before she started the show too. It just was not giving.
It wasn't giving on stage.
No, it wasn't giving on stage.
It wasn't giving on
Instagram,
stage.
the pictures
it
that
was
you
beautiful.
sent me
was gorgeous.
Right. I was like, who
but
is
it did not
this?
translate to whatever the case is.
But she
all
gave
that's
moves.
working, child.
She did. She gave moves. She danced.
Yeah.
She danced.
That'll do it. That'll take your wig from straight to.
That's true.
Crooked,
and with the humidity, child.
Like that humidity, I can't.
Twerking, though.
It is one to be reckoned with.
It's one to be reckoned with. Do not. I'm sure she was hot as hell.
Oh no, I'm certain. I will say, speaking of twerking, I was that day years old when I found out Tay Money was a white woman. I had no way.
Because first of all, got a lot of time for Tay Money. Shout out to Tay Money.
Shout out to Tay Money.
She's a real one.
I fuck with Tay Money.
No, she did a great job. But it was funny because I think it was your sister's husband, Jonathan, your husband, and myself. And we literally Googled her while we were, they're like, that's a white woman. I was like, that's not a white woman that's on stage. and it sure was. Tay Money, whoever did your tan, good job, sis.
And we surely told her that.
Shout out to your tanner.
Okay. We did talk to her about that. So be on the lookout for that interview.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. A couple things before we get into what's popping. So, Summer Jam HTX. I know.
Wrap up what's popping.
Okay, then one more story.
No.
Summer Jam HTX was a vibe. If you weren't there, get there next year.
Next year,
it was so much
fun. It was such a vibe.
It was so much fun.
It was such a vibe.
Okay, some sad news in the world of entertainment. After 13 seasons, Wendy Williams is no longer going to be on the air. Her last day in syndication is going to be June 17th. And because of all her ongoing health issues, she's actually not going to be there. They're going to do a video montage. So it's a sad way to go out.
It is.
After all of that, like it gets canceled and you're not even there for the last show.
It's so sad. And we've talked about Wendy Williams before. I actually hunted for the movie. Because you said that there was a movie, and I was like, "Oh, surely I can find it on demand." No, I had to buy it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you bought it?
And I bought it, and I watched it. It was like, this is a sad state of affairs.
It's a sad, listen, because it was like a very like great rise to fame and stardom, and then she plateaued at a very high level, and then the descent was like a nosedive.
Yeah. And again, I go back to this whole, is it karma? I don't know.
I think it's karma,
but like. I wish you the best, Wendy. I have listened to you for years. How you doing?
Shout out to Wendy, and I really do hope that whatever healing she needs,
won't be there.
that you get the healing you're looking for.
But she got into it with Sherry Shepherd, child. Wendy is just
Wendy got it with everybody.
Everybody,
she gives everybody the smoke.
Everybody, anybody can get it. You know what? I kind of like that energy, child. Anybody can get it.
Right.
Machine Gun Kelly.
We're gonna disrespect everybody. Okay, couple more things. Big shout out to our newest EGOT winner, Jennifer Hudson.
Yes.
She has won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony. The second Black woman in history to do it, only 17th person. Whoopi Goldberg was the first.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
that puts her in legend status.
Oh yeah, she's a legend. She's
definitely a legend. That's crazy though, right? Like because when you think about her career, she didn't even win American Idol. She came in like, I don't know, second, third place. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just to see her, then she played in Dreamgirls. And
she won the Oscar.
And she stole the spotlight from Beyonce. Dare I say it, Beyonce.
Can you imagine?
Yes. Like
Beyonce went in there going to get the Oscar.
Was gorgeous in Dreamgirls. Like she was amazingly beautiful in Dreamgirls. Mm-hmm. And then Jennifer Hudson just came in like a bat out of hell.
Girl.
Sometimes beauty doesn't get you all the way across the finish.
Listen, it gets you through the door, child, but it don't take you all the way.
You ain't got the chops, child.
She was the underdog that really just like shot out of the
cannon.
She really did.
I don't even know all the shit that she won those awards for. Like what plays and movies directed. I don't even know what all that is for.
I'm just thrilled that like she's also someone who just stays in the cut. Like I know she's had some like family and personal tragedy, but she's so not someone who feels
she's not problematic.
She doesn't need to be in the front, in the forefront.
No. But she has had some like the tragedy that happened to her family. That was devastating. That was a lot, child.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know. Okay, y'all have to tell me what happened. I know about David Atunga and the man that was on The
what happened to like her sister's son, her nephew, and her mom
a few years back. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird, I know that we didn't speak of weird, but I'm just going to segue into it. Britney Spears got married to a man called Sam Agazi. Sorry, whatever his name is. Sam. Anyway, she got married recently, wore a beautiful Donatella Versace dress. Donatella Versace was at the wedding.
I saw.
This man, Sam, on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 10. However, I'm looking at him like this because he has some F-boy tendencies. I feel it in my soul. It's a matter of time.
It's Pride Month, so.
You think he's.
I feel like he is.
He's a part of the Pride community?
I feel like he might be.
There's something
about
Look
at the eyes on that one,
didn't her ex-husband like...
He tried to, that's Sam. Her ex-husband, Jason Alexander, is that his name? Jason. He came to
tried to crash.
It wasn't Kevin Federline. It was the one before the wedding.
Jason Alexander, the one she eloped with?
Yes. Yeah. He came and tried to crash the wedding. But really my story mostly, I hope Britney Spears finds her joy.
Third time's a charm, child.
I hope she finds her charm. Yeah, I hope she finds love. But this Sam man, I'm gonna tell you right now, Britney, what camera I need to look into? He ain't it. It's a matter of time. I'm telling you right now, today, on this day of June the 14th of 2022. It is a flag day. Sam gonna turn out to not be the man that you thought he was gonna be.
Really?
I hope she signed a prenup.
Divorce number 3?
Oh, absolutely.
After she just got out of that conservatorship.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
This is what's crazy. And like she's had, unfortunately, she's had pregnancies that haven't made it to full term with this man. I think that Britney is a sucker for love.
Yeah.
And I think more so than Kim Kardashian, because Kim Kardashian's a sucker for love, but Britney's a sucker for love and has terrible discernment. When it comes to men. And if you look at her history, she has gotten into relationships with
her kids from her.
Right. But, and she's gotten into relationships with paparazzi. Like if you look at the Britney documentary, the Free Britney documentary, it's like really scary. And you
is.
understand why she was put into the conservatorship, now why she stayed under there for
as long as she did.
Well, it's about to be a shit show now that she's
now that Janie can't control
She's
this
free.
situation.
Exactly.
I really just hope that, you know, she listened to somebody to get herself a little prenup. She listened to somebody to just like hide her assets from this man, because this man, he is not in
He sees dollar signs in her eyes.
Dollar signs and access, because the way that that he is all over her Instagram and she is like barely sprinkled in. Like it's barely anything. And it's just like, and just the way that, I don't know, it's just something about, I have F-boy radar. I'm very good at this. And he's
got it.
Well, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first, child. I hope for the best, but
hope for the best.
He isn't even dry on the marriage.
God bless him.
Child.
God bless him is all I have to say. All right. Do I have time for one more? Am I done?
No, boo.
Can we just do one more? Just one more. Just one more. We'll make it quick. Quick.
Okay, I'll try and make it quick. Okay. So Lizzo has a song out. It's called
Speaking of body positivity.
Yeah.
Lizzo,
circle, ladies.
Lizzo has a song out called Girls. No I, just R's and L's. In that song, she says the word spaz. And apparently spaz is an ableist term that we can no longer say. So she's issued an apology and is re-recording the song to take the word out. My question to you is, have we gone too far? I don't want to be canceled. But have we gone
before we even get started?
I'm not trying to be canceled. Right. Sorry to that man. But have we gone too far? Because at this point, I don't know what I can and cannot say. I don't know what words are bad. I know what words are bad, but I don't know what words are on the cusp of these are bad, shouldn't say them anymore.
That's a good question. I mean, that's a super great question. And I know, like, from a like a corporate perspective, when we talk about DE and I, and be clear, because last time no one knew what I was saying. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, there are certain words now that, you know, that are inappropriate to say. And I don't know about you guys, but like at the company that I work for, there's like a list of words that are inappropriate to all different ethnic groups that would probably be offensive. Like words like tribe. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
How did I know that?
Sis, you have to be culturally sensitive. You have to be very culturally sensitive. So my question is it going too far? The short answer is yes, because I think that you have to look at context. Yeah, it's about context, because in the Black community, spaz means going off on a person.
Correct.
It means like cutting up, going off, acting a fool. It has absolutely nothing to do with being spastic or disrespecting the disability community.
No, it's
or the community with disabilities, however you want to say it.
Right. No,
what are your thoughts? You're just looking. What are your thoughts? Are you trying not to get canceled, Chad?
We try not to get canceled.
I'm trying to like just be observant and listen, but I'm not trying to be canceled. But first of all, I say tribe all the time, and I use it as a term of endearment, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, like women are part of my tribe. Like you are part of my village, and I feel like village is about to.
I was just about.
I literally have a friend group called the Village, right? Saved in my phone, and so. I think that, yes, we are on the verge of going too far, but I think there is, I don't know. I think when we talked about cancel culture several years ago, a lot of it was directed at the brown and Black community, specifically the Black community. And so there was a heightened level of sensitivity that I had to it and was like, F yeah. Like, take that word out your mouth.
Right,
it's not safe.
Ours,
It's our word, right? Yeah. And I'm not talking about the N-word, because the N-word ain't never been appropriate to say.
Never
in your life. In your life outside of the community.
Not appropriate.
So I don't know. I feel probably less, I feel connected to it and empathetic, but I don't know if I feel as connected.
Yeah.
I know using it as a term of endearment, and it's very different again from the N-word, because I do believe that like people will say, well, I'm a white person or I'm a Latino person or whoever, and I use it as a term of endearment.
No.
And the reality is its origins were not coming from that place.
Yeah. It has always meant something bad.
Something hateful and bad. When people in the Native American community use the word tribe, like, what tribe are you from? People will say, like, I'm from the Tuscarora tribe, or, I'm Blackfoot, whatever. Like, they will speak to the tribe that they're from.
Yeah.
And so,
so I guess saying tribe is like appropriation, I guess.
It probably is a little bit of appropriation. And so, how I feel about appropriation.
Exactly.
I will rename the group. But I do think that, there isn't. We've probably gone too far.
Slope. It's a very slippery slope. And I think that, this all-inclusive approach. I don't know. Like, I just feel like Black people are still fighting for our rights. And so this all-inclusive approach to me just makes me feel like Black people's rights are getting pushed further and further to the bottom.
Exactly.
And I don't like that. I don't like that feeling.
I agree with you 100%. And that's what gets on my nerves a little bit. It's like, we still haven't identified the root cause, but all these branches like, we feel this
look
way.
At this. I feel this way.
It's like, wait, hold on.
Consider this.
We're still over here.
There's still work to be done.
Exactly.
We're not moving on because we haven't finished what we're supposed to be doing.
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
So maybe like white people feel differently. I don't know. I can't speak for that community, but as a Black woman, I feel like we're not focused on the right thing. Not to say that it's a wrong thing, but get in line. Like, it's a line. You're cutting it. And I don't like that.
Shit that needs to happen in the Black community.
Well, I think we need to start with the group that's been the oppressed the most.
Exactly. Right. In America.
In America.
And who has led the march on all social justice issues, equal rights, you know what I mean? So so let's finish the work that's been started. Agreed.
There. So
agreed.
All right. Well,
great conversation.
We start with festivals, and then we go to like
deep topics, HR conversations. Yes. And so appreciate you guys. Follow us on Champagne Wives Podcast on Instagram and Champagne Wives Podcast on Facebook.
Good journey to ease no why.
All right. With that, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Cheers.
Bye. Oh, I'm empty.
Bye. Oh, you're empty? Sorry.
It's okay. I got a little bit in here.
Bye.
Bye.